Hey, everybody, this is Matt Courtwright, your host with the most, and I'm with our boy, Joe Taufete'e. How are you, Joe?
Uh, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm blessed. I'm happy. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I'm everything, man. I just happy to finally catch up with you. We've been trying to set this up since Seattle. You know what I mean? But grateful that I'm here, and I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me.
Absolutely, my man. Yeah, no, you coming to Seattle was a blessing. I had no idea. I didn't know your history until I saw it, and then got to watch you play. Got to meet you in person a couple times, and yeah, the bond is there, my friend.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing about Seattle, man. The community there are, so welcoming. You know what I mean? Like it's like family once you step into Starfire. And even across different games when we go away, there's still
yeah.
a lot of Seawolf fans traveling, and that's the beauty of the community
You
there.
know what? Matter of fact, you and Pago, if I recall correctly, did a little video about exactly that. Am I wrong?
Come again. Which one was that?
Let's go. I'm going to show everybody. Here
Yeah,
we go,
he's
buddy.
my guy.
The atmosphere at Starfire. There's nothing like it in Major League Rugby. The runout, the rain, the fireworks, the atmosphere straight out of a Friday Night Lights movie.
I learned that the sacrifice is not just about the big moments. It's about the small choices you make every day. It's being where you said you'd be on the field, making that hit you promised to make, supporting your teammate when they need you most. The satisfaction isn't just in scoring. It's in knowing you fulfilled your role, kept your word, served something bigger than yourself. When you're exhausted, when your legs are heavy, and you hear that crowd, those passionate fans who brave the rain, bring their families, and make every match feel like a final. They lift you. They are part of our team too. A part of what makes this place special. The 2024 season has taught me that when we serve others and put the team first, we create an environment that people want to be a part of and fight for. This isn't just a rugby club. It's a family. And while my time here may be ending, the bonds we forged, the mountains we've climbed through injuries, the impact we've made, that lives on. So thank you, Seawolves. Thank you for everything.
That's awesome. That
It
was
gives
really
me
well done.
goosebumps, man. That gives me goosebumps just thinking about it, man. Because I can literally feel how I felt when I was making that with Pongo. Yeah, it's huge props to Pongo, man. He's a genius at doing stuff, and I'm kind of starting to do my own little thing and try to branch out and use my creative side, man. But
Oh yeah.
that was just a
Oh yeah.
great video, man.
So good, bro. So very good. Uh so let's start off. Let's talk about you and how you came into rugby. You grew up in American Samoa, excuse me. Until 5, and you came to the San Francisco Bay Area, huh?
Yeah, well, it's kind of like I moved around a lot when I was young, right? We moved to Orange County first when we first landed in the U.S., and then after like a year or two, we moved up to the Bay. From the Bay, that's when I started seeing what rugby was about in a way because my older cousins, were playing it. And San Francisco has a big community, in the Bay Area in general. There's a huge community when it comes to rugby. So, I mean, I didn't really start playing rugby until I left the Bay and went down and back to Orange County and started playing with Belmont Shore's youth program, right? So it started with them. And then once I started playing the youth program, the Coach Ray was there. And then there was Ray Egan, who was at the men's club. And so when he pretty much saw there was potential in me, they kind of just invested their time into me and it kind of took me along, and if I wanted it, then it was kind of like, up for grabs. And Belmont Shore does a really good job at promoting the youth level and just got a lot of rich history. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much how I started. I moved around playing football and that was my main sport, basketball and football, until I met my wife now, who's my wife now, who kind of got me into that.
Wow, you guys have been together for quite a while then.
Yeah, we've known each other for about 15, 14, 15 years, but we just celebrated 10 years of our marriage.
Wow. Okay.
Mm.
Okay, that's incredible. So you guys met in your teens.
Yeah, pretty much. 17 and she was 18.
Older lady. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh man. Okay. So yeah. So you started with playing football, American football, defensive tackle is what I read.
Yeah.
Got honors multiple times. Man,
Mm.
you're just been an athlete your whole life, haven't you?
I'm blessed, I think, and you realize that when you're blessed with talent, it can only go as far as your hard work, and I big
There.
believer in that. Big believer in that. So, doesn't matter how talented you can be or are, if you don't work hard at something, then you're never gonna get returned. So I've been blessed, really grateful to be able to play football and grow up playing it and played at a college level, but then I had, scholarship opportunities to play after junior college, but
Right.
then tore my ACL. And then back then, like it was only Adrian Peterson who could come back from injury like that, and he had the resources. I'm just a broke college kid. So then I
Right.
took a whole year off, and then my wife introduced me to rugby and kind of took off from there.
That's awesome though. It's awesome. Well, I mean, you started playing your pro debut was in San Diego for the Breakers, huh? That's pretty
Yeah.
cool in itself in my mind. San Diego's quite the location for rugby, if you will.
We, because it was owned by one owner, all the teams in the whole pro rugby league, it was
Right.
kind of like this ongoing joke that we would call us the what is it, the tropics or the San Diego tropics, right? So when semi pro, was the big movie with was it Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
And we were pretty much the tropics, man. We were kind of like playing at parks, practicing at parks. I mean, we probably had it better than others, but this is the first year of professional rugby in the U.S. and that was kind of like the first time. Those are two Canadian props that I've grown
Oh, my bad. Here.
yeah, that's the Jake and Hubert was his name. Yeah, Hubert. And then you can see Ollie Khalifi right there too, So
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
it's so good.
a lot of people don't know rugby in America started with this league called the Pro Rugby, and it was owned by one person and just chaos. But
Yeah.
a big growing pain.
And we don't know why it didn't last. Here we are. Oh,
Mm.
fun.
Yeah.
Well, also, like, I get to say some more about this. Okay, so you were nominated for World Rugby Men's 15's Player of the Year in 2019.
Mhm.
Now, for those that do not know, typically only tier 1 nations get nominated for this, as well as they're mostly have been won by fly halves and flankers. And you were nominated as, with USA being a tier 2, which in itself is huge.
Mhm.
Then you move on from that to or was it that same year that you broke the world record for tries as a front rower?
Yeah, that 2019, that was pretty much the reason why I was, in talks to be in potential, to get the award, was because that year was when Gary Gold had, came in and kind of just cleaned out what needed to be cleaned out and played the players and, try to make it a good atmosphere for a lot of the players. And that's what he drove, was having a good atmosphere. Um, and man, and he just let me play freely. You know what I mean? He kind of had this thing where if you're good at one thing, that's what you need to focus on, and then the weaknesses you can build off of. And then, you know what I mean? Like those things you can always work on, but we want to highlight what you're good at. So he highlighted my ball carrying skills, my timing off of the balls and stuff like that. And and all of that was part of this bigger unit as a forward, and a lot of those tries were me in the back of the mall and the boys are in the front, pushing away. But it's a testament to that whole year in 2019, and been grateful to be put up with some of the great names of rugby.
You're a legend, bud. You're a legend. Let's not forget it, man.
No.
I just have so much fun uh, teasing you about that because you are such a humble guy. Real talk. Matter of fact, I got a video on you scoring, so let's go about it.
Taufete'e on the far side. Oh, he bulldozes his way through. It's the hooker that has two. He salutes the crowd.
Stretch is over. It's a try. USA. Joe Taufete'e. Well, he scores a lot of tries. He's your go-to man.
Tough to stop. 3 Russians couldn't do it. He had a little bit of help from Nick Savetta, Paul Mullen, but Joe Taufete'e. Penalty advantage as he peels around. Buster one, still going for the line. He rolling stuff. Look at the determination on his face. Wonderful dot down by Joe Taufete'e.
Let's go.
Let's go, buddy. So good, man. So good. So good. I mean, like, they had you on their highlight reel for a minute, my man. Oh, they were selling tickets with your name on it too. Let's go there.
First class flight to LA as soon as I land on a paper plane. Soon touch back in the ends, 110 on the M trying to take a chance. Big fat stack in my bag when I unzip that for to make it rain.
Call when we run down this range. Black wrist and left wrist, that's range. She said what on? What's going on? Why am I wet? Yeah, that's rain. Call when we run down this range. Black wrist and left wrist, that's range. She said what on? What's going on? Why am I wet? Yeah, that's rain.
Just boom, Brian. Just boom, like you were talking, like your timing, your speed, the quickness and agility. Fun to watch, man. So much fun to watch.
Nah, like I said, man, it's those guys in front of me that are paving the way. You know what I mean? That's just only half of it. Me, peeling off at the timing that I need to.
Yeah, I know. It's credit where it's due.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's fun to get you up in the mix, man. Fun to get you up in the mix. Like you and I have been so overdue for this. That's so much fun. I'm sorry. I'm like a little kid over here. I get to fanboy out a little bit, hang out with Joe, guys. Fun fact: Joe decided he wasn't sticking around. I remember when you weren't going to stick around in Seattle.
Yeah,
well, that had to be a hard decision to make.
Very hard. Like I mentioned, we love the community there. That was the biggest part for us, is that we love our life outside of rugby, because we built up friends, outside of the rugby circle, but also like when we came to Seawolves, it was like our own second family. So it was a tough decision, but at the end of the day, we had to do what was best for me and my family, and that was, that's what ended up. So, that's why we're here now in New Orleans.
Yeah. No, I remember us having we met up for breakfast. And you dropped the bomb on me, and I was like, all right, well, I know that wasn't an easy decision. So when you go down there, make sure you say hi to Dan and Sheila Falcon, because they're like Jennifer and I in New Orleans.
Yeah, and I definitely did to get a chance to talk with them, and they're just great people.
Amen, man. They are good, wholesome, best you could ask for, really. So good. How are you doing now that so New Orleans, they saying that they're taking a hiatus for a year. They killed the lease with, I don't know what but I'm going to tell everybody what I do. So they killed the lease with the current stadium. They're on Airline Drive, I think it is. And they have all this money in escrow for renovation. And they have their eyes on this other stadium, but it is scheduled out till January with American football and such. And so they know realistically with the the remodeling that they want to do, that they couldn't perform and have a team in 2026. So they backed out, saying they're taking a hiatus for a year. And MLR is saying, well, you can take a hiatus, but you got to buy back in when you come back in. And so we don't know, right? Nobody knows, up in the air. And then you guys get a team meeting. How did that play out?
I was in a different position than everybody else. I mean, I had a wedding. My brother was getting married. And then on top of that, my grandpa had passed away in San Francisco. So, I was there for a wedding and there for a funeral. So I was already mixed emotions, and there was a lot of things on my mind at that point. But then when I received the news, I was kind of like, it was, through the group chat, the players all had their own little group chats and stuff. But through that, little messages started trickling in. And I had no time for that at the moment, and it wasn't until of recent when I started posting about my daily vlogs and stuff like that, was when I started to actually sit with a lot of what was happening, right? And
Yeah.
to be honest, like, I'm still processing it now, but like, through the day to day, like, it's like you got to push towards something, just like rugby and how I've even started this journey. I've got to push towards something, and to be able to feed to be able to have this career has been a blessing, and I'm trying to take that same mindset into the next chapter, if it is it or if it isn't,
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'd process it either, my man. That's why I reached out to you, and I was like, checking your pulse, seeing where you're at mentally. Like,
Yeah.
your shirt right now says it all. And I couldn't promote mental fitness, health anymore, my man. I love it, sir. Absolutely love you for that, because you're doing everything correctly, but you're still going to have the emotions. And that's the part that we all struggle with. So I saw, like you just said, saw that you've been putting stuff on Instagram. Matter of fact, I want to bring people up to date, because like when this is done, we're towards the end of August right now. He just finished up day 7 and 8 over the weekend.
I just posted 9 just earlier
today.
You
did?
Yeah.
You dirty dog. I didn't get it. Dang it. Okay. But I'm going to post up 7, 8 so people can see where you're at. So like, we're time relevant.
This is day 7 and day 8 of posting something every other day. I put these 2 days together because Saturdays are now starting to get really busy with the kids in sports. I think I'll post every other day or weekly, just so I have time to be a husband, a father, and so much more. On day 7, we spend our Sunday morning at Celebration Church, being surrounded by God's people. This is exactly what we prayed for when we first came over to New Orleans. We pray for a church we could be a part of. We pray for godly friends. I specifically pray to build a relationship like Jonathan and David. Looking at day 7, I could feel that God's really answered my prayers in that area. On day 8, aka Monday, August 25th, a G was born. Compa Samoana, the youngest of my siblings and the most recently married little brother. Super proud of this guy and where his heart is. I know his future is bright. He's got a great wife in Sam. I know that God is really going to move in their marriage. This week is going to be a great week. Every day is going to be a constant reminder to pursue God and to build up your relationships. Through whatever season that you're in or heading into, pray that you push for a relationship with the Lord, because that's the relationship that matters the most. I will try to share how God is moving in my day-to-day or every other day, maybe a day in the life of a stay-at-home dad, or how I'm trying to stay fit as a 32-year-old professional rugby player. I started a new IG. I'll probably try to use that to post updates on business ventures and building wealth, using what I received through scriptures. My job is to do what comes naturally and then pray for God to add in his supernatural. With much love, God bless. Yes, sir.
Love it.
Let's go. Man, you can tell the editing and the video. I've got no experience with it, but you know what I mean? Like I said, it is.
It's going to be great to come back and look at those and see how far you've come. I mean, you got to, all of us have to start somewhere, and you're never ready. Let's be real, man. You're never ready.
Yeah, 100%. But The main thing is that I'm using it as a journal, right? Like I'm using it to think about what I can be grateful for in today. Stuff that I can't control with, NOLA and what plans they got, right?
Right.
But the main thing is that, every day we're trying to push for something great, and the biggest thing that's been at my heart recently is my time with my family, the time with my wife, the time with my kids. And now that they're getting older, it's kind of hard bouncing around with rugby and what rugby's got. You're traveling to different places. You're missing out on weekends or you're missing out on birthdays, and so that stuff, starts to get really, really important the older that they get, right? And they start remembering.
Well, let's talk about the Queen, shall we?
Woo!
Yeah. Let's
That's
talk
my
about that.
favorite.
Let's talk about, how you hold it down. You, the Queen, and then the children, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's the order. You got,
yeah.
the higher being up there, which is God for us, and then on top of that, with us being married now within the scriptures, it says we're one, right? Everybody knows that, right? It's in everybody's wedding. Yeah, you're one, right? So I mean, she's held it down. I mean, through the professional career that I've had over England and in France, she's always been there to
Yeah.
pray for me, to talk to me, to mentally take on a lot of the burdens that I had as a professional rugby player in England, because it's way bigger out there, way bigger in France.
Huge.
So much more pressure, so much more media coverage, so much more things that people are looking, you know what I mean, are microscoping onto your life. And so
Yeah.
things like this, like me posting every day about, what's important, that time in England and France, it was more scary because the scale was bigger, right? But she's been a solid part of this whole rugby career, this whole walk, this whole journey, and she still continues to be the rock of it. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm finally starting to, wash more dishes, fold more laundry, put away more. You know what I mean? And that's in a way is serving her, because I know that's going to make it easier for her throughout the day, right? Makes it easier for her to love on the kids, because if one dish or one thing is left on the floor or something, that could easily flip a switch if you had a rough day or whatever.
Right. Right. The whole, like, the teamwork makes the dream work no matter what the setting, right?
100%. And I believe that, if you two aren't good, then the kids are you know what I mean, they're gonna grow up and wonder which person to either um follow, or you know what I mean? Like you two have to be one mind when it comes to
Yeah.
kids. And that's
Couldn't
stuff that
agree
I'm
more,
learning.
man, because, like,
Yeah.
you're the example of love for them, you and your wife.
Mm,
And you
100%.
jumping in and helping out, like, that's what they're gonna remember when they're in their
Hmm.
relationship, right? Like, "Hey, I
Yeah.
gotta get my butt up and do and help and be present."
Bro, and the only way you're gonna do that and for them to remember is if you're doing it you know what I mean? It's not like, okay, today I'm gonna do this, this, and this. Bro, if you can wash the dishes, wash the dishes. You know what I mean? Like if
It's
it
not
brings you
hard.
joy to see a smile on her face, you know what I mean, then it's good.
Yeah, you and her in New Orleans. Here we go, bud. Absolutely awesome. Okay, just
That's
saying
my
awesome.
queen.
Man, the stuff that she's been through with you going to
Bro,
England and going to France and coming
bro,
back to LA and having
bro,
babies and going to
bro.
Seattle and going to New Orleans. I mean, I forgot Houston back in that mix too. OMG,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So yeah,
She's a ride or die, bud.
100%. She is my ride or die. Like
Yeah.
every time I look back into the rugby career and how far it's taken me, like there's things that she had to sacrifice on her own. Like, you know what I mean? Like that people don't see in order for me to carry the rugby ball around the world, you know?
Now
And well, she
I want to take a jump at her name, pimp, but like Nolene?
Nolene, yeah.
Nolene. Okay. Yeah, because I want to address her as Nolene, not hey, Joe's wife. That's Nolene. Like that's the
That's
queen.
Jolene, like Jolene, like that's probably the song is probably the easiest way to remember is bang bang, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a great name. No, Jolene.
Yeah,
Together they are one. I love it.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, man, she used to travel all the time with the kids. She would travel with
Real.
toddlers overseas, delays, layovers, all by herself with all three kids. She's done it. And I'm barely doing it now. And I'm grateful in a way because now they're a little older. So I could be like, hey, you go help this, I'll go do this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's awesome. And I really feel like it's she needs to be celebrated. I don't think enough of the wags get celebrated outside looking in. And that's why
Hmm.
we got to bring her up because she's your support. She's the lead right now. Let's be real,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's not a lot of humans made like that, in my opinion.
No, I agree. You know what I mean? Once you find that person that is, ride or die, it's an ongoing relationship that you're gonna have to continually have to learn about each other, And once you
Yeah.
find that ride or die, man, you know what I mean? It'll take you places you never thought you'd be.
How many kiddos you guys got?
Three. So 8, 7, and well, 8 recently, 7, and recently 3.
Wow. Okay. Okay. We
Mhm.
took a little hiatus there for 2 seconds. 4 years to be exact. Yeah. Yeah. How many siblings do you have?
So I'm the oldest of 4. So I'm 32. My sister's in the Navy. She's been in the service for 10 plus years now, overstationed in Greece. And like my other brother who's in business. And then my other brother, the youngest one that just got married, just turned 25.
So good.
So in a way, yeah, in a way, growing up, I had to be their dad at some point, and to see them flourish now, man, it brings tears to my eyes.
Yeah. Well, you're that makes sense that you're the oldest.
Uh,
Your mannerism, like, because they talk about the pecking order, if you will, or the
yeah,
birth
yeah,
order. And no, that makes a lot of sense with your personality. That's fun to learn about. Yeah. Okay. I get a
yeah,
little,
yeah.
you're an onion, buddy. I get to take a layer off at a time. And it's fun to get to know you, at
Hey,
the
you
end of
can only do it with things like these, Thank God for podcasts and for people like yourself pushing it out.
man, I'm just like, I'm not trying to be that beggar. I'm not trying to be too much of a fanboy, but at the same time, I feel like everybody's story needs to be heard. It needs to be recorded so you can live as the legend that you are, in my opinion.
Hmm. Hey, and everybody's a legend in their own life, and it's
Yeah.
about them realizing that. Once you realize that, man, things will just, you know what I mean. Things will just, happen for you a little bit more fluid. There's gonna be ups and downs,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. Everybody's a legend in their own character, like yourself, fella. You know what I mean.
Thank you for that love.
Exploring out to your new podcast, and trying to learn a new skill, bro. Like
Yeah. Yeah. I
unreal,
mean,
unreal.
we all hit those walls at times, right? So, like,
Right.
my wall helped happen Thanksgiving of 23. All right. A lot of people
Mm.
don't know this. I was actually messaging with a guy earlier today, Seth Smith, and he didn't know about my ailments and my walls that I've hit. And unfortunately, you've got to see me with a walker. You got to see me getting on the
Yeah.
plane before all you guys. Like, you've got to see me go from like straight up can barely talk out the side of my mouth to upright and able to walk in a straight line,
Right.
which there was a massive F-bomb right there, like, because it was a lot, right? So like, and the love that you your teammates in Seattle have given me have just been immense. And then now you're hitting your own little wall right now. And it's a little wall. Hopefully it's just a hurdle at the end of the day. But the hardest part, I think, is you don't know where you're going yet because you're not there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I mean, you could say it's a wall, or you could say it's an obstacle or anything like that. But you know what I mean? Like I've shared in my post, like I've got a source. You know what I mean? I've got
Yeah.
the source that keeps me alive every day. And I think like, regardless of what you're going through, I know there's going to be a way through it. You know what I mean? I'm a huge believer in that,
Yeah.
and it's just a reflection of rugby and life, you know what I mean? Like, or sports and life, right? And it all
Yeah.
correlates because you're gonna have those times of adversity, right? You talk about that in sports all the time, right? And in the heat of the moment or in the heat of the battle, what are you gonna do to overcome it? And I think a lot of rugby players and you know people that been through life can understand that. You know what I mean? There's probably someone who's got it off worse than you.
Right. I wouldn't trade your problems for mine. And they both are not great, right? Because I'm familiar with my problems like you're familiar with yours. You don't want these
Yeah.
problems. You don't want my problems either, bud. Not at all. Not even a
No.
little bit. Nah, no. Nay,
Hey,
nay,
I
nay. I
wouldn't
would
mind.
wish that on you.
I wouldn't mind getting on a plane earlier though. I don't know.
Right? Yeah. Maybe next time you give me my dude and you can come help me out, bud.
That's it, brother.
Oh man. Well, see, I want to say one of the memorable times for me is seeing you after the championship in 24. And you had been in a freaking boot, man, for like, I don't know, probably about a month before that, maybe even more. I want to say 3,
Yeah.
but remind me. And I remember us shooting the gift after the championship, and I was cutting out, and you know you've always been so kind, sincerely. And you know you were saying goodbye. And I'm like, you got surgery lined up? You're like, yeah. Oh my god, yeah, I got surgery lined up. You know,
Yeah.
just all these emotions. And we haven't got to cut it up since. So how did that go? How did the surgery after the 24 season go? Because obviously you went to NOLA having to heal, you know, still healing up a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell me about it, please.
Yeah. So I mean, it was kind of hard because when I left Seattle, I was still in a boot, right? Or
Yeah.
I was still post surgery. So I got a reconstruction in my foot, so in my Lisfranc. Frank. So it's pretty much they put 2 nails into the ligament in order for it to grow back. It wasn't a full, um, I don't know how you would say it, rupture of the Lisfranc Frank or anything like that, but it was enough for me to have to need surgery. And so when I had surgery, and January hit, that's when me and my wife drove from Seattle to New Orleans. And
Wow.
that was not good for the foot, man. And we stopped we stopped halfway in Colorado Springs with our family, but it was not good for the foot regardless. And then, coming into camp, preseason and stuff like that, I didn't get to do a lot of the stuff because I was still injured. And so it was kind of hard because it caught them off guard as well because they thought I'd be ready and I thought I was going to be ready as well, and so I was pushing it throughout the whole season and trying to get back as fast as I can. And as soon as that happened and I would try to push to come back earlier and earlier, was when I started having more problems around my body. So my back started giving out. My shoulder was, I had a chip in my shoulder. Um, that was an old injury, but came back because I was playing on not really being fit. So, I mean, it was a tough thing because, at the beginning of the season, Nola was struggling, you know what I mean? And it was like we were trying to still piece a lot of things together and just never hit a real stride until I actually, you know what I mean, started boys that were injured started to come back and have a little bit more say. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't see is that even though players aren't involved, they're still involved, right? So when you're injured, you
Yeah.
still have to be involved in a lot of the conversation, still learning. But a lot of that was really trying to find our feet early on and me trying to build relationships through my actions on the field, right? I couldn't do that at a full capacity because I was still carrying the injury.
Yeah.
But later on, you know what I mean? We fought through it like we always do. Like when I got injured at Seattle, I had to fight through it because we were on this good run, right? And so I
Yeah.
was literally in a boot through the week and then play on the weekend, boot through the week, and I couldn't really train how I wanted to train for a lot of the build up to the finals. And so, yeah, I mean, injuries did play a big part in the last of Seattle season and carried over into Nola's early on season. But
But you did get some playing time. I remember watching. So
yeah,
you,
I mean,
how
I
are you
was, but
feeling
I
now?
wasn't. I feel great now. Now that I'm back in training, I don't have to. I was dealing with the two slip discs towards the end of the season, and so a
Yeah.
lot of that game time had to still kept getting reduced because of the knock on of the foot surgery and the shoulder going, and then compensating for one side.
Yeah.
But that you know what I mean. Like it was like I was playing no more than 80% throughout the season. Because once I started getting fit, it was harder to stay fit because you weren't doing the things that you needed to do in a rugby game that correlates, like the scrums, like the contact hitting, like making sure that your body's still attuned to like a lot of that.
Yeah. So, right now, how long, I don't know if you need to answer this so we could, I can edit it out if needed.
Yeah, it's
But
all
like,
right.
how long is your living situation covered?
Uh that
Is it to
goes
the end
into a
of the
lot
year?
of most contracts when it comes to year-round players. Yeah, it's year-round.
Okay. Because I asked that because I want to come down to the Markel Cup, which is
Yeah.
November, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Hey, yo, you need to
Yeah.
edit that part out. Yo.
Hold on. All right, we're back. My question to you is, what do you enjoy cooking for the family?
Well, I've
Because
been
I saw
into
some of those where you're cooking spam, eggs, and rice. And
yeah,
that's one of my favorite dishes of all time. Like, if I could eat that every day, I probably would.
yeah. Boy, that's mainly what we do, and I'm trying to get my kids into more vegetables and stuff like that, but it's always hard. So we'll sprinkle in a couple like things of broccoli next to whatever they're eating. So if they pick it up, then they pick it up. If they don't, then there's no rush. Main thing for me is protein. Make sure you get
Yeah.
the whatever it comes from the eggs, from the chicken, sausage, anything. But they
Yeah.
love it, and I think the biggest and my favorite meal to make right now is probably the katsu chicken. Making katsu chicken for the kids, chicken and rice with a little bit of, that's all.
That's I see, and I was raised. I grew up around a lot of Islanders in general. So like, my son was raised on rice and everything else, right? So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
giggle about it because I had to do the vegetables too, and my queen too, Jennifer, bless her heart, but like, she not a real big fan of vegetables either. So I'd constantly
Right.
make mixed rice, right? Like, you call it fried rice if you want, but like,
Yeah,
constantly throwing the vegetables in the rice because I know they'll get ate that way, and then the
yeah,
protein on top. And like, that's the dish: rice and a protein every time
that's
in my
right.
house. So
Yeah.
it's you know I'm a bigger boy than others, but that's how I keep my manly
Hey,
figure.
that's the same as my kids, rice and some kind of protein. There's no.
Yep.
I mean, there is fruits and vegetables in their diets and stuff, but I just need you to eat and go.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like, you're probably picking up on a whole lot of ways to prep and get ready for meals now that you're running the
Oh,
show. Yeah.
yeah, man. I'm finding myself like I need to wake up at 5. And then when I wake up at 5, I feel like I have to wake up at 4. It's kind of like if I want the perfect morning up until like noon, I have to make sure the morning is good. And I think like through these blogs and blog posts and journal writings, it's kind of helped me out, man. Picking up a little new habit on waking up more early than I'm comfortable waking up, right? And
Yeah,
and trying to make sure the day is set up to be conquered,
100%. Like crock pot and the delay cook on the rice cooker for me, when I was in your shoes, that was the saving grace. Like you just thaw out your stuff, you get it all prepped up. I typically will freeze them in bags so they're ready
That's
to
what I'm
go.
doing now. That's what
Yeah.
I'm doing right now.
Isn't it
So I
funny, man? Like,
marinate my chicken. Marinate my chicken in these bags. My katsu chicken is marinated in milk and all this. You know what I mean? Like it's all in the
yeah.
bag. So if I freeze it, I just put it in the cooler part of the fridge,
Yep.
and then whip it out when it's ready. Ready to cook. But
We're
right now
we're
it's been
trading
slow. I've been slowing
secrets of
down.
recipes.
Man, I love it, man. I love it. And I'm still
Yeah.
learning, and that's the best part is that I'm still keen to learn about a lot of things. And I'm
Oh man, like
excited.
my uncle was a chef, so I learned a lot as a young man because I was raising a kid solo act by 24, 25 years old. So I was like, we're not going to raise this kid on fast food. So
Yeah.
uncle was like, he made a really good fun. We ate a lot of a lot of pork, a lot of chicken, and I would marinate it in Italian dressing because you can't buy the ingredients of Italian dressing for the price of just going and getting your cheap stuff at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And if you need to speed up a marinade, throw in a carbonated product. You
Oh
know,
yeah. 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 Yeah.
yeah, club soda.
Club
Some
soda.
people say beer. Whatever.
Yeah.
Really, it's because it penetrates the meat, the protein, and
Yeah.
gets it in there. So you can go from like 2 hour marinade down to like 20 minutes when you throw in
Yeah.
a soda or some jazz. So just stupid
Yeah.
stuff like that. But like
No,
that's
I
what we're
love it.
doing, right? We're raising
Yeah.
humans.
Yeah. That's it, man. And the best way efficiently is the way to go.
Yeah, yeah.
Efficiency wins all when it comes to them.
The
At this
whole
point,
like
at least
getting
this
ready to
point.
ride out for the day, and you're not going to be back
Yeah.
for oof, eight
Yeah. So
plus
you
hours
gotta
or something like
make
that
sure they
delay.
are.
Oof, telling you.
Feel it. I feel
Yeah.
it.
Oh, sorry, everybody. We're not talking real manly on this one. We're actually talking about getting stuff done around the kitchen. Saying,
That's it.
dude, how was your family life growing up? Like, who made the food there?
Whew. We have this saying, right? It takes a village to raise a
Oh,
kid.
man. Yeah.
So
Real
in the
talk.
Samoan community, it's you're pretty much raised by your cousins, your uncles, your you know what I mean. Like that's your family is your family, and that's who raised you. So no matter whose kid that was from a distant cousin that you probably haven't talked to in a long time, and if they're in the area, and if they're not doing what's supposed to be done, uh, best believe they're gonna get told off, right? And pretty much just kind of like how we grew up is everybody was auntie and uncle, and everybody was your cousin or your uso or your sister. Like it's just how it is. And growing up, it was mostly mom, though. It was mostly
Oh, yeah.
mom. Yeah. And
Okay.
she used to cook up spaghetti. That was my favorite thing. Was my mom would cook me spaghetti before every football game, and I'm like. You know what I mean? She's having to tell me, don't, you know what I mean? Like, there's no rush. Like, don't eat the spoon, don't eat the plate. She's like, relax.
Yeah. Take it in, chew your food.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not, us large humans aren't known for like
Oh,
being
yeah.
real classy about how we eat. We just inhale it.
Bro. And I feel bad for our parents, because we're just freaking endless, endless hole of constantly eating.
Right? Yeah, yeah. We now understand while grocery stores are, the lights are staying on because we are paying those bills.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. I love it, man. Well, I mean, like, hey, is there anything? You got a couple interviews coming up, or interactions, or what you got cooking?
Yeah, at the moment, I'm digging my feet into trying to apply for a couple interns. I've got some time until January now, right? So I
Yep.
really am trying to make use of the time that I have, and I'm blessed with that. We actually fought for it, and I think that's day by day. I'm trying to put myself in a room full of successful people. That way I can learn from them and hopefully I get put in those rooms, but I'm doing the necessary actions to do so, like reaching out, emailing, calling them, trying to set up a Zoom call or just being proactive in anything in anywhere. And I had a buddy who reached out that I was going to church with. His name's Corey, and he just did 10 years. He was a ex NFL, or he was in college, right? D1, right? D1 football, and he transitioned into Entergy. So he was a lineman. He was one of those guys that, goes on, fix the electricity poles in case things go wrong or whatever. They're always on call.
Okay. Electrical line. Got it.
Yeah, so he literally reached out and said that there's an opening, and so I applied for that as soon as I finished my resume. That felt like forever to do, but you know what I mean. I'm doing what I can in terms of either playing rugby again or finding a different chapter.
Trade work is awesome, and also don't forget about like firemen.
Oh, bro, that was one of my things, right? And funny thing you say that is one of our neighbors. His name is RJ, named after his dad, Randy. He's actually a captain of one of the fire stations out here in New Orleans. And so even before the season started, I already talked about him and how nice he was, being given that Southern hospitality when we showed up at the door here. You get everybody from the neighborhood started coming to say hi. And he ended up telling me he was a season ticket holder at NOLA. I was like, okay, let's go, and I shared that with NOLA when they had a piece on me when it came to me settling in New Orleans, right? I mentioned them and we built this relationship over time, and I kind of reached out to him. I was like, what can I do? Is there an academy starting up? And that was kind of like my transition that I wanted to, because I felt like firefighting is probably one of the best ways to continue to add value to people's lives, right? And not only the people that you're serving, but also the people that are around you, because you're building that same kind of brotherhood when it comes to rugby. You're building that same kind of trust when it comes to sacrifice, right? And so that really initially drew me into wanting to be a firefighter, from it's been past years, right? And there's other things that I'm trying to dip my toes into, but they're going to be based off experimental, and hopefully I can post a little bit of how that goes, whether that be starting a company, junk removal around New Orleans. You know what I mean? It could be anything, right?
Yeah.
And with this time that I'm blessed with, I'm hoping that I can set things up day by day to make moves, man, to be great.
I'm excited to see what you end up doing, and it might be a series of things.
Well, and literally, it's all the interest that I've always had, right? When it comes to real estate and owning something, and be able to pass that down to my kids. That initial thought has always carried me through the years to think about, and then also, to be able to be living free. Like the biggest thing that is in our community, in our hearts, and as people of faith, is that we're here to serve rather than to receive. You got to serve in order to receive. And so if you're not willing to serve, you're never gonna, nobody's gonna ever really look at you. And that applies to life. That applies to job applications, right? I mean, you're not putting yourself out there. You're never in the game.
Love it. Like, you're right. 100% right.
Yeah.
Well, let's not forget your talents of rugby to this point and how life has been such a roller coaster. I think about, what the sacrifices it takes. Oh, the kiddos are home, aren't they?
Yeah, they just got back from the back to
all right. We get to see Joe in his real element. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in the meanwhile, hey, I made a quick video here of faces of Joe, as I call it. Pictures
got
of
a new one this time.
Oh yeah, and there's no order, right? So here we go, bud.
No.
This is fun. I'll give you a minute. I saw the kiddos in the background off stage there, and you want to bring them in for a picture, my man? You want to say they want to say hi or anything?
No, my wife just took them. You know, she's already onto it. You know, she's like, bang, gone.
Man, what a queen. What a queen, dude. Straight up. This is so good. Well, Joe, you know what, man? It sounds like you need to cut out and go do your family thing is what I'm seeing. I know that we had limited time, and I'm thankful for your time, sir.
Nah, I appreciate it. Like I said earlier, man, keep doing your thing, keep pushing out the message. You know, this is an avenue for a lot of players to speak their mind, and I appreciate the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, you want to come back in a minute? Let me know.
Yeah, I need to let me settle everything in my life. You know, like everything's got.
Oh man, nothing's ever settled, Joe. I got to tell you, bud. Like I'm a bit older than you, to say the least, and my life's still chaos and something new every day. So
yeah,
don't get comfortable, because that's a red flag.
Oh, that's big facts, man. That's big facts.
So good. Well, hey, thank you for your time. I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed it.
No, I enjoyed it. Like I said, man, appreciate you giving this avenue for players.
Absolutely, my man. It takes a village, like you said. Just doing my part, serving too, man.
That's it, brother. Just keep pushing it.
All right. Until next time when we catch up, good luck. Yeah. God bless you. I'll see you soon.
And then, you're missing one more. You're supposed to say, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
but I appreciate it. And again, I can't wait for the next time around.
Done deal, my man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Much love, brother.
Love rugby? So does Matt. He is host of the Rugby 100 Club podcast, where Major League Rugby stars tell their stories. But it's more than a podcast, it's a passport. Rugby 100 Club builds epic fan trips to follow your team on the road. Game day tickets included. Tailgates and fan meetups? You bet. Unforgettable memories every single time. Rugby 100 Club, where fandom meets the road.